Now we're live.
Okay.
So let me start first by introducing our organization today. So hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on our Sustainable Saturdays. I'm Shane D'Souza here from Green Yatra. So Green Yatra is one of India's leading environmental NGOs, and a dedicated Green Yatra is a green journey towards protection, conservation, and the betterment of our environment, Mother Nature, and humanity. And our main objective is to create a habitable green earth, a better world which is better for all the living organisms, and to leave the planet in a better state than when we first found it. So today our speaker is Mr. Arunesh Upadhyay, who is currently working with Green Yatra as project manager. He's leading the Green Yatra team of sustainability professionals in urban forest making and water conservation. He is a sustainability consultant with more than 6 years of progressive professional experience and has managed and coordinated various regional projects on a wide range of issues. So, thank you, sir, for taking your time and joining us here today.
Thank you, Zen. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I am Arunesh Upadhyay and working with Green Yatra and leading the NCR team of Green Yatra that is engaged in developing, sustainable Delhi NCR. So basically, we are managing or developing, urban forest and uh, resonating ponds and water bodies. So these are the works we are generally practicing in Delhi NCR.
Right. So let me start today by asking you. So, today's topic is Indology and sustainability. And Indology is something that not many people here are aware of, have not heard very often. So, can you tell us what is this Indology all about?
Yes, in short, Indology is the science and wisdom of Indian society,
Right.
and we can say it is the wisdom of Indian civilization, the wisdom of our ancestors. That was 1,000 years ago they were practicing, and that is coming through years and years. So this is the study of our culture, our wisdoms, and our sociology.
Okay, so it's all the study of all our Indian culture, history, all that comes in this
Traditions.
broad range
Yes,
of
yes, yes,
Indology. Right, right.
yes.
So then the next topic we'll be talking about is sustainability. So could you tell us about more about this term sustainability, because now many people are using it very often, and what is the root of sustainability?
Yes, yes. It is very interesting. People are using nowadays the word sustainability. You can see it anywhere.
Right,
Sustainable business, sustainable this, sustainable that, sustainability is here, sustainability is there. But when you try to understand how this word come from and from where this word come from, so you will have to go through the various ancient civilization of the worlds, because this word is being in practice in 21st century. But
right.
before that, there is no sustainability. Is there is, there
Yeah,
was, and this will be in future as well. So we will
right,
have to understand what is sustainability and from where it come from.
right,
So basically, I am from India, and so
right,
I will try to trace the roots of sustainability in Indiology. That is the study of Indian culture, tradition, and our wisdoms.
right,
Okay,
right.
so when you come to know about India, that
Hmm.
one thing that will be strike your mind, that is Sanatan Dharma. So what is
Yes.
this Sanatan Dharma? So basically, the people who live in the Indian territory, they belongs to a particular religious or they follow a lifestyle. Sometimes it is also referred not as religious but lifestyle. So
Right.
it is a Sanatan Dharma is a lifestyle. So what they
Okay.
did, they are actually nature worshippers. They
Okay.
practice to worship nature, and they believe that nature is the supreme god. That is that is only a thing that is making everything to be sustainable. That is the thing that is making life to be existence on the earth. That is the thing that is supporting the each and every living thing on the earth. So
Right.
they believe that it is the nature that give us pure air, water to drink, food from the forest and trees to eat, sunlight to warm our bodies, and so these things are the part of our culture and our wisdom. So, but when we talk about the
Right.
sustainability meaning is little bit uh, more uh, complex in uh, 21st century. So, what
Right.
is its contents? It contains, not only environmental sustainability, it's talk about the social sustainability.
Okay.
Means how you are having equity, how having the rights, equal rights in the society, how everyone living in the society that is peacefully or harmonious or not. So, I
Right.
firstly tell you how, our ancestors were, respecting nature. That is related to environmental sustainability.
Right.
Now come to social sustainability. Uh, they believe in life cycles.
Yes.
We are
Right.
human and we are not only, society. In our
Right.
society, that is a ecosystem. When we consider nature or being a science student, you will have to consider a whole ecosystem. In that, there is a ant. That is the part of our society. A dog is there. That is the part of our society. A cow is there. That is the part of our society.
Society.
So
Yes.
when it's come to society, everyone need to be, respect. Everyone need respect. Everyone need
Right.
peace. That is not only human, because this earth was made not only for human, but for each and every creature on the earth.
Right.
You believe on this?
Yes, sir. Definitely. I believe that
Yes.
all of us, it was
So
made for everyone, right? Not only for
yes.
humans to take
So when,
care of.
yes. So when we are talking about the social, sustainability, this means we have to talk about the each and every creature in our society, and this is the must, not about the only humans. We are
Right.
the part of this society. We are the part of this large society. So there is in Sanatan Dharma, in Indiology, there is a story of recycle, rebirth. Means this time
Okay.
I am human, and if I will not perform better karma, next time I will be a ant, I will be a tree, I will be a cow. So I need to respect everyone or each and every creature that is nearby me, that is surrounding me. If I will not respect, what happen? Next time I will be an ant, I will be a
Right.
dog, I will be a tree, and someone will come and hurt me in the similar way. So
Yes.
this create, a social harmony and social sustainability to respect each and everyone.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we talk about the environmental sustainability.
Yes.
Secondly, we talk about the social sustainability.
Socially.
Now you have to
Right.
now you have to focus about the economical sustainability, because in today's era, economic is the important part of each and everyone life. Money is the
Right.
true bitter truth that we all needed. To survival, money is needed. And if each and every era, when we go to our ancestors era, there is also some financial concerns. So we need to
Right.
talk about that only. So, talking to our financial concerns, how our ancestors were practicing. Let's talk
Yes.
about some of natural resources. Some of natural resources. My favorite one is air and water. You can ask
Right.
why.
Why? I'm very curious to know now.
Because, yeah, these are the natural resources. Don't have any value. Even government is not valuated them.
Okay.
Think,
Okay.
a simple, case. I am sharing with you. A
Right.
village is there. A village is there, and of 100 households. and about 1000 people living there. And
Right.
suddenly I come up there with a plant of, something manufacturing or some production. So the
Right.
villagers were using that natural resources, that is air and water, as per their requirement. But
Hmm.
I come up with a plant that can be a cement plant, that
Okay.
can be any type of plant. So I am
Right.
coming with a plant in that village locality, in that community locality, and now the resources that is of that locality, you can say, or resources or of anyone, because that is not valuated at all.
Hmm.
That is air and water. So villagers were taking groundwater, exploiting groundwater as per their need of two or three household members.
Right.
But
Right.
right now, I am being a owner of industry and I am exploiting the groundwater for my, business purpose.
Yes.
At the same time, I am polluting the air. That is the environment of locality.
Right. Right. Yes.
Means I am exploiting the natural resources that are not valuated.
Correct.
Correct?
Right. Correct. Correct.
At the same at the same time, if I am running a pharmaceutical company, a pharma
Hmm.
company, I am exploiting our forest resources, taking
Yes.
medicinal plant and trees and leaves and developing the medicines.
Yes. Yes. We
So
all have.
this is the modern practice. So let's come
Right.
to I will talk about this in detail in our upcoming series. That will be I will relate how CSR and sustainability. So companies, modern companies, latest
Hmm.
organization come up, they are doing charity under their CSR, but this is not charity. How? Because they are exploiting the resources, man, that was not valuated.
Correct. Right.
They are, at the
Yes, sir.
end, they are taking groundwater. They are polluting the air. So this is the giving back to society. No any charity they are doing.
Right. They're basically
So
making
now
up for
come,
what all they're doing. They're making up for
yes,
whatever
yes,
they're
yes.
doing. They're not giving
Even
anything
even
extra.
not yes, even not equal to that. How much damage they have made.
Right. We do not take all that
Means
into consideration. We only look at the one side of them showing us how much they're doing. We're not looking at
yes,
the effects of their actions and the
yes,
consequences of how they're expecting. Yes.
yes. So now we come to our topic, that is
Right.
ideology. So we are on the economical sustainability.
Correct.
So you have when you have a time, you try to visit some village. In
Hmm.
each and every village, you have you kuwa, that is dig well,
Okay. Right.
ponds, talab. Each and every temple come up with a talab or sacred plantations.
Right.
So these talabs and ponds and dig wells were made to recharge the groundwater.
Okay.
Ancient years ago, they knows the value of
Right.
restoring the groundwater.
Right.
And coming to the modern era, we have forgotten. When you go to visit a village right now, you
Hmm.
found most of the dig wells were not working. Ponds were just
Right.
filling
Yes.
up. They have no water.
Yes.
So at the end, our economical value, that is of groundwater, that is going depleted. And most of them are facing, water problems. In previous year, I think 2019, Chennai was out of water. And these
Right.
are the problems. Even Chennai having the big temples, well, but their ponds were empty right now because people were not maintaining. They were not interested in maintaining that ponds.
Right.
Even consider in our ideology, people
Hmm.
have tulsi in each and every household. So tulsi is
Right.
not a tree. It has economical value. It having some
Yes.
cough like problems and related to some
Hmm.
fever problems, they used to consume leaves of tulsi, and that make them relief,
Right.
that give them relief. So it's have the economical value. We have our ancestors have big bags, gardens of mangoes and something they were eating and
Right.
selling as well. So that have the value. But now you will go to even village, most of them don't
Hmm.
have any garden type of structures. Even the temples don't have that sacred trees.
Right.
And later on we add some they used to practice uh, agriculture being following the using their cattle dungs, making
Mm.
fertilizers at home, and in upcoming years we forgotten. We come up with chemical fertilizers, uh,
Right.
pesticides, and that we are
Correct.
being contaminating our foods. Not even contaminating our foods, they are contaminating our groundwaters, and that groundwater we are taking. And at the end, you have to use a water purifier to purify your water. This is the additional economical cost you are bearing right now.
Right.
So these are
Exactly.
the things. These are the things that our ancestors were practicing environment in such a way, sustainability in such a way that they have a healthy lifestyle and even some economical values. But right now we have forgotten that path or route, and we are on different. But in 21st century now,
Mm.
some of us are realizing the importance of our culture and trying to return to the path that our ancestors were following year ago.
Right.
So we have some of the sustainability as a whole in our
Right.
ideology, and that is environmental sustainability, how they are practicing, social sustainability, how we are having their wisdom to think about the society as a whole, and economical sustainability, how they are valuing their natural resources at that time, and how they are utilizing their natural resources at that time. And now we are what we are doing. So this
Right.
is all.
I like how you told us about how our ancestors were actually thinking about the future. They were not only thinking about themselves when they were planting the trees, they were rejuvenating the groundwater system. So they were taking care of future generations while also satisfying their needs. Whereas right now
Yes.
we are only focusing on satisfying our needs and we're not thinking about the generations to come that much. But now we need to start
Yeah.
focusing and going back to our ancient traditions and also, meet our needs, but also think of the coming generations.
Yeah, when I was doing my master degree in Nalanda University, I
Right.
saw, Ahar Pine system in Bihar, the traditional, flood water and rainwater harvesting systems. Years
Hmm.
ago, our ancestors were practicing, but that system is not in use now. People are now using bore wells that has diesel power. At the end, they are polluting the environment. But what they
Hmm.
are doing a year ago, they were collecting, flood waters or rain waters, and that water being diverted to different agriculture fields, and they are utilizing that in so planned or so environment friendly manners. We cannot imagine right now, and they are so advanced than us.
Right.
We are coming up with the easy solution for an instant, but for future generation we are creating a lots of problem. So we have to think from now, because it's high time to think.
Right. I think the main thing
one
what
more
you're saying
thing
is right.
one
We
more
need to.
thing
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
One more thing I want to add. You told that we have to care the resources and ponds and forests. What we have, our ancestors have, were practicing. So one thing I want to add: our
Hmm.
ancestors have done a lot. Even we are unable to manage their, intellectuals, property,
Right.
or their wisdoms. They have created lots of ponds, sacred forests, temples, water bodies, and at this era we are unable to manage that all.
Yes.
So how we will create new hour?
That's what we have to figure out now, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yes. So then my next question to you, sir, would be, what role is Green Yatra playing in this immunology and sustainability related concept? What is Green Yatra doing for a sustainable future? If you could tell us.
yes. First of all, I want to tell you that
Hmm.
Green Yatra as a team, we are trying to come up with
Right.
our ancestors knowledge. When you come to NCR and go through our green belts and plantation done by the government in uh, you know before the 10 20 years, the all trees are invasive species, not local species. They are
Right.
harmful to the environment, and they are creating a lots of problem there. They are not even too much beneficial to the environment and local communities. So as a team Green Yatra, we are trying to come up with the local ancient Indian species that having mentioned in our sacred text, our ancient text, and that have ecological and environmental values to the localities wise. So
Right.
we are preferring only native, species. We are planting only native species. Whenever we are creating even urban forest or green belt or conventional, we are going only for native. Not even a single tree we are trying to introduce from the outside of our, locality.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Uh,
So what do
along
you say?
with that,
Yes. Right.
Along with that,
So please.
we are trying to conserve the water. We are trying to recharge the groundwater through the ponds that were developed by our ancestors years ago. And that pond is now being rejuvenated by us. And along with that, we are also creating ponds by ourselves. And that not only creating, we are maintaining that pond in sustainable way. So
Right.
at the end, we are trying to manage a whole ecosystem and take us our urban forestation projects. We are not even using a single chemicals there. We are not going to kill an ant there. That are the
Yes.
part of our society, as I told you. So we are
Right.
consuming or using only organic fertilizers at sites of plantation.
Right.
Even when we are coming with pond rejuvenation, we are coming with natural water treatment. We are not using single chemical in the water to treat. So that is
Right.
totally organic and natural. The wisdom is coming from our ancestors. So we are totally, following the ancient Indians tradition, cultures, wisdoms to restore the nature, to hold the sustainability in on better ground or grassroots level.
So basically, using the knowledge of our ancestors, the knowledge that they have given, their principles, their traditions, their values, and that is what is helping us rejuvenate the resources. Provide a better future for the generations to come. Our plantations are increasing. The number of trees we are growing is increasing. The water bodies are getting rejuvenated. So all this sustainability, all this betterment in the resources is all coming from our ancient values and our ancient traditions, right?
Yes, right now we are trying to utilize our ancient values and ethos and come up with the solution that will not harmful to a single insect of the our biodiversity. And so this is our concern to take care of well-being of each and every creature on our surrounding, our in our environment, because we have values in mind that earth is created for all, not for
Right.
only human being. So it is for all and we need to take care of all. Then why to use chemical to kill insects or something or anything? It is
Right.
even a forest creation or water pond rejuvenation. So we are going to 100% organic. We are not using a single chemical anywhere.
So I like how you said that while although we are doing the forest, we're not only focusing on the forest, but we're also focusing on the biodiversity as well. So we're seeing that everything is met. Nothing is compromised. No living organisms are harmed because of the chemicals we use. So we're using we are taking care of all the needs, the entire ecosystem. Why all this and is also bettering our future, right?
Yes, yes, yes. We are trying to, restore the whole ecosystem, not only a
Exactly.
forest, create a forest or develop a forest. Because I told you very first that sustainability means you have to take care of environment as well as society and as well as the economical values. So
Right.
when we are coming up with a forest project, uh, think of, we are creating a forest that has some economical value, because at the end this is going to help in reduction of air pollution. At the end this is going to increase the conservation of groundwater or increase the groundwater level. At the end this forest having some fruits, trees, because it's the mixed type of forest. We are using various type of trees, sub trees, shrub and canopy. So
Right.
there are some fruits bearing trees. So the creature or animals from the nearby community, they can come and enjoy that fruits in future. Even a small insects are the part of biodiversity and they can have the habitat in that forest. So at the whole, we are trying to restore our ecosystem or society as a whole. in that society, everyone have a value and everyone have a respect. It can be a ant or even a little insect.
Right. I like how you're focusing on the entire, we're taking care of all the organisms, and the earth is not only meant for us, and it's our responsibility as society to take care of all the organisms of everything on earth so that we can all grow together in harmony. Nature and human both have to go in perfect harmony and blend together for a better future. That's the
Yes,
main
yes,
focus of these entire principles, right? So,
yes. And this is the focus of Green Yatra as well. Being
right,
the team
right,
Green Yatra, we are trying to focus on these things. We are trying to understand that human can survive in harmonious relationship with nature only. Human is
right,
not superior to nature. We cannot conquer nature. At the end, nature can win. So we have to keep this in mind and try to establish a harmonious relationship with nature and trying to be more and more and more harmonious.
right. I like how you said that we cannot conquer nature, and then it's all about a balance. It's all about being in
Yes,
harmony with nature. So we have to
yes,
try
yes.
and ensure that everything we're doing is what nature wants, and with nature itself, and not go against nature. So,
Yes.
so can
So,
you tell us?
hmm,
Sorry, tell us.
yes. Ask, please.
So, could you tell us any tips, anything from our ancient cultures and our values which we have forgotten, which our viewers can use in their day to day life in order to be more sustainable?
Yes. That is our ethos, our values. We have forgotten.
Right,
And right now we have to come back to our ethos, our values, and keep that always in mind. What we are doing, what we are practicing, we have to consider that what it will affect, how it will affect to our environment, how it will affect to our society, how it will affect to our economical or financial conditions. Firstly,
right,
we are come up with fertilizers and pesticides to increase our crops production, and we did. Our crops were production were increased rapidly, but that is not financial stability or sustainability, because at the end you are saving money on the core production.
right,
At the end, at the back end, you are giving that money to the doctor buying the medicines.
right, correct,
So these things you have to keep in the mind, because
right,
our practices, how it is going to harm the soci- uh, societal values, environmental values, and economical values. And this is the bigger thing right now we have to do. We have to, our ancient ancestors' knowledge. We have to keep our ethos and values on our mind and follow the path that we are followed by our ancestors. Why to follow someone else? Why to copy someone else? And this is the
correct,
bigger things we have to do. It is high time to recognize ourselves. It is high time to recognize our ancient values. It is high time to utilize our cultures, traditions, and implement that in our day-to-day life. And it is high time to remove greediness from us, because at the end it is the our greediness that is creating each and every problem.
correct, correct.
First we
Yes.
uh, uh, li- uh, think with a little case study. We come up with our greediness that population is growing rapidly, and to feed that population we need high amount or high amount of crop production, and we
Right,
come up with fertilizer and pesticides, and all food and groundwater got contaminated. When you go to Bihar, I have some data about Bihar because I did my studies there in environmental science. Most of the groundwater of Bihar is contaminated with arsenic,
right.
iron and fluoride, and that arsenic contamination is causing cancer.
Okay.
People were don't aware they are drinking water that is groundwater can be purest form, and they are drinking, and indirectly they are suffering from the cancer. So we
Right.
have to think these are not being done by the nature. These are our actions that is coming back. We can think of Newton third law. Each and every action have and reaction.
Yes, sir.
So these
Definitely.
are our bad deeds that is coming from the nature. Nature is doing nothing.
Right.
Nature is, supporters of the life on the earth. Even you
Right.
think about the tree. Tree are the primary producers. They are only producing foods for each and everyone. We are consumers. We are not
Yes.
producing anything. When you
Right.
study ourselves, we are not producing anything. We are only consuming. So we
Right.
have to think this, because tree is giving shelter to us, food to us, uh, promoting purifying air for us, and at the
Right.
end we are cutting the trees.
Correct.
So
Correct.
these are
Right.
our values. No, these are not our values. Our
No. No. No.
values is that Buddha got enlightened under the people tree.
Right.
These are our enlightened. Our sagas and sadhus got enlightened inside the forest. Our
Yes.
ancestors were protecting trees.
Right.
Chipko
Right.
movement was the part of our culture because we love trees. Our
Yes.
ancestors believe that one tree is more than 10 suns, and they
Right.
protect. They believe that if we plant a tree and care for that tree as a child, in next birth we have he will have a child. But all we are forgetting our ethos values and talking about the nature, and that is all because of our forgetfulness of root and greediness. So as per me, we need to come back to our roots and practice the knowledge of our ancestors to be more sustainable.
Right, sir. Right. So, before we end today's session, is there any last note you would like to tell our viewers before you end? Anything to keep in mind before our next session together?
Yeah. So I will come up with, I will try to connect CSR and sustainability, because
Right.
this is nearest to the my heart, and people talks about that they have, they are doing charity and they are doing this, they are doing that. But as per me, this is
Right.
not a charity. We are doing the same what we have done before. We are, giving back to society what we have taken from them. Even we are not
Right.
equating, we are even not giving equal to that amount. So
Okay.
next
Yes.
topic will be, I will try to explain or relate CSR, corporate social responsibility, with sustainability. Is really they are doing to achieve the damage made by them? Yeah, is they are really interested to you know come up
Yes.
with the solutions what they have done for? So
Right.
that will be.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time and explaining this concept in such depth and giving us so much information and so much to think about, and how we have to go back to our values and our roots. So, thank you, sir,
Okay,
and thank
okay,
you for the session.
okay, Sam. Thank you very much. Thank
If
you for
all of
inviting me.
you,
Okay,
if
thank
you
you.
have any queries related to this, you all can comment on our Facebook link, or you all can follow us on our website, Green Yatra, and we'll be happy to address your queries. So, thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.